So I've now sanded this all off, and it does feel like we are, you know, somewhere on the level of this being nice and seamless. If we look a little bit closer, you could probably see that, you know, there is filler, like a nice big sort of filler hole here where it's filled in. You can see the filler in there, even just at the front, just here. Everywhere looks kind of sort of, you know, pretty much not much filler in there. You know, that's probably just where we've got, you know, this is where we've got our gaps and the filler's gone in there. Now the thing is, the problem is we can't really see what this is going to be like until we like spray it. So nice little tip I like to do is get out some I don't know, cheap black paint, whatever you can find, nice, quick and easy. I do like to just, you know, have loads and loads of 057 black by Vallejo Model Air. I just buy kind of like loads of it because it's, you know, it's a good colour to have, and it's also good for this kind of stuff. Black is a good colour to sort of see what your work's going to look like. So as I say, you know, it is deceiving with all the different colours of filler and the white plastic. We can't really sort of 100% tell how this is going to look. And what you got to sort of remember in modelling is, you know, we put all this together, right? We get the sources section on and all this kind of stuff, and let's just say we've got it all together. We think we've done it right. We've then sprayed the model, done all our nice spray work, and then we've gone, oh, we've got a bit of a gap just under there or something. And the problem is we've sprayed it, we've spent all that work doing it, we've glued it all together, and then we have problem of also accessibility, you know, to be able to sort of, you know, try and get in here and start sanding all this with the source section on. It just makes things harder, whereas as it is, as just our warp nacelle, we've got purely good access to just sand away and get everything sanded nice and easy. You know, the sanding stick's not bumping off a saucer section or the main hull or something like that. We've got it all nicely accessible. So I do like to whack in a little bit of paint. You could actually also brush paint this if you really sort of want to. But what you can do is plain and simply, we just spray on here, nice quick. Right, it's only a quick spray job, so I've not even thinned this paint, because Vallejo Model A you can get away with a little bit of sort of spraying neat for a bit. And what happens is we can now see clearly how well our filler has been. Alright, so I'm looking at this now. We can sort of rotate it in the light, and hopefully even on camera you can sort of see any sort of problem areas. Maybe let this dry a bit, cut to air just to dry it off a bit. But basically what you're seeing now is what you're going to see in the end result. Right, so I'm just drying this off with air, and then what we're going to see is, I can actually already see now, although I was feeling it before and it looked like all our seam lines were all sorted. You can see that very clearly even on camera right there. I can see we have got a bit of a seam line gap, and you can sort of see, you shine it in the light and you can sort of see how it dips in, and that is what we're going to see when this model is done, which is not exactly what we want to see. I can almost see up here as maybe slightly, a slight little blemish just there. That's not too bad, but down here, that is something we're going to definitely see when this model is all done and dusted. So it is good to do that. Also, what you can also do, come along with a nice fine sort of sanding stick just here, and just to give it that last little check and to confirm, what we can do is sand away this black paint. Right, and what's going to happen is it should reveal anything. Right, so I'm just sanding away at this now, and what I'm also seeing is you can just sort of see, hopefully you're going to pick this up on camera, what we can see is the black paint has gone into that little recess just there, and you can see bits of black paint inside there, which is also indicating that, you know, we've got a gap there. The black paint's gone in there. The sanding stick can't sand away what's in that gap, so we've got black paint in there. We've got a gap to deal with. But then there's also this finer stuff just here. We can sort of see sanding stick scratches right here. I don't know if you can pick that up. It is very sort of fine, but you can see the black paint has gone into these fine sanding stick scratches, and you know, it's left the paint there, and when we've sanded it off the surface, we can see these little tiny scuffs, these little scratches. I don't think you are quite picking that up on camera, but trust me, they are there. So what we can do is, with a sanding stick, we can now just, because these are only fine little sanding marks, sanding stick marks, we can just slowly sand away at this, and what should happen is we'll eventually sand away them scratches, and as we sand away them scratches, we'll see this black paint sort of disappear. Right, so if you just slowly keep at that, if there are some after doing a bit of sanding, which I am sort of seeing, you know, a couple of little scratches there. Oh, I wish you could pick that up on camera, but little scratches there. Okay, basically what this all means is we've confirmed that we need to put a bit more work into this. So let's get out the good old fillers again. These are kind of like tiny little scratches, and you know, we've got that little join line there that needs to be made seamless. You know, just get out your fillers again, go through the same procedure, fill it, sand it, and then, you know, spray on some more black paint and just double check it, and that way you just ensure that you're going to get an absolute perfect seam line on everything on your model. So with all our warp nacelles now sort of nice and ready to be glued on, one other thing is we want to be putting this onto a stand, right? There's no landing gear or anything like that with airplane models or anything like that. We do get a stand with this, as you can see. Nice little metal rod goes into there, and then, right, this is the kind of a bit of annoying bit with this model. What's supposed to happen is this piece right here, right, goes right there, and then you bring the two halves together, and that metal rod is supposed to go through that hole to allow it to be, you know, sort of an in-flight display, so to speak. But if you look, that hole is nowhere near big enough to actually fit in there. You could try not putting that piece in there, and then you get a bigger hole, as you can see, but then that hole ends up being too big, so this is just gonna flop about like so. So we've got to do a bit of modifications to sort of make this work better. Now it depends what you've got sort of lying around, but Plasticard is, you know, a nice little tool when it comes to doing modifications and stuff. Plasticard is basically the same plastic that these kits or any kits are made out of, which basically means that, you know, doing filling, sanding, scribing, it's all the same. Using the same glues like thin cement, it's going to react the same. So we have, you know, we have less problems in that sense. Now this is the thickest card I've got, which is about, I don't know, maybe about 1 mil thick. If you've got a nice block of it or something, you could put in there, absolutely fine, but I'm going to go with the task of making lots and lots of little rectangles. So I've already cut one piece out, very sort of rough, nothing sort of fancy at all, hopefully, as you can see there. And what we want to do is make sure this piece will fit inside our model nicely. So if I sort of open this up, all we do need to do is make sure that it will fit one side, you know, fairly nice. Now if I hold that in there, I can see, yes, that is looking rather nice. That is going to fit in there once we've glued it in there. So quickly, while holding it, I'll just get a little pen, right, and I'm just going to mark you know, around about where that sort of goes in. So when I pull this out, hopefully what we're seeing is that more than half of this piece has gone inside this half, right? So I know now that if I glued that in, because the way we're going to do it, we're going to probably glue one side in, right, because we can't hold this in place and try and bring in the other half, as you can see. But if we know that is going to be going in this piece more than half, we know it's going to fit this side when we bring it in together, if that logic kind of makes any sense. So we know that size is going to fit and it's going to be absolutely all nice, and all we need to do now is build it up. Now, as I say, if you've got a nice block of something that you don't mind gluing inside there, and then, you know, all you got to do is drill a hole for our stand. But in this case, I'm going to go for the let's cut loads and loads of these little square pieces out, and then we simply glue them together.